We're in an historic cemetery this morning here on the Gratu Orloff channel. Born 1853, passed away 1914. There's an elementary school named after this person, Ditto Elementary. Passed away in 1901. This is a historic cemetery. A lot of schools and streets are named after the people that are buried here, here in Gratuville. Some of these tombstones have broken, unfortunately. That's a real old-fashioned tombstone. And then the Collins family. It's not Barnabas Collins, but there's a major street that goes through Gratuville called Collins. So there's another Collins grave back there. Well, anyway, why did I stop off here? I stop off here. I try to get here out here as often as I can, but sometimes it's every couple of months, 2-3 months. I don't remember this having the cement covering this area here, but it doesn't look like new cement. Maybe it was always here. Maybe there was a fence around it. I don't know. This looks odd. I don't remember this part. Anyway. Oh, look at this. Born 1898, passed away 1899. That was the baby's grave. This one's interesting. Roy N., son of J.D. and M.E. Lamb, born October 29th, 1905, died May 5th, 1807. See what happened? He obviously was born in 1905 and died as a 2-year-old in 1907, but the person that carved these tombstones, they'd been carving for so many years, just typing 18 whatever, and they obviously made a mistake and slipped and put 1807, and I guess at that point maybe they didn't have another stone so anyway, it's like the baby's a time traveler. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Anyway, I came out here years ago. Whoa, wait a second. There's trash back here. Well, I thought I'll come out to this cemetery and I'll look for a grave that looks neglected, and I'll start taking care of it. And I went to the very back corner of the cemetery back here and found a grave that was real lonely and was overgrown with trees. I'll show you. But it looks like there's a bunch of trash back here, like someone's been having a birthday party out here. Yeah. I've shown you this before, but I don't know, we might have some new viewers here on the Gratu Orloff channel. Actually, there used to be a lot more trees and all this was overgrown. You couldn't see that road there, which is, I think, Matlock. Okay. This is the grave that I took over. This tree up here had grown down and was covering this. Some of the branches were, so I cut those branches back, and then I put these flowers here. And the flowers are still in good shape. I meant to bring some more flowers, but I didn't really actually realize what was coming here. I had to go to the post office, which is near here. So let me just fluff up and refresh these flowers. Okay, that looks a lot better. Anyway, there's some moss that's grown on this. But anyway, yeah, you can barely read it now. But anyway, this is the grave of Hannah Vandiver, and she passed away in 1901. She was born in 1882. So she was a young lady, and she came on a train from Tennessee to be with her husband. She was a newlywed here in Grotuville, and on the train she contracted smallpox, which was the dreaded disease back then. And it was the first case of smallpox in Grotuville, and she passed away within a few days. And so I didn't know all this about her. What I did is I looked all that up and found online some local newspaper from back then, and it was a big deal because it was the first case of smallpox in the area. And her husband got smallpox, but he lived. And I think, I looked up the husband too, and I couldn't find him. I found a guy with this name, Vandiver, but he was like a Civil War veteran. He was much older. And I found it from a census, and it showed all his children. And one of the children was just named Dump, D-U-M-P. And I think that one moved to Texas from, I think, Georgia, and changed his name to his father's name. And that's what confused the records. But anyway, and then I guess he married this girl, sent for her to come here. But anyway, yeah, I wish all the property taxes we pay, I wish that people would, the caretakers of the cemetery would take better care. I mean, these flowers here probably were on, I don't know, but maybe homeless people don't live here. They need to get these leaves up. And this is the only grave that's near her. This grave was, this person passed away in 1890. Now, if you look around, see, these two graves are in the very back corner. And then look at all this space here. The nearest grave, well, obviously is that one, but is way over here. Webb. Oh, there's an elementary school named after this person too. Oh, actually, this is, yeah, died 1905, and then the wife died in 1954. You imagine, almost 50 years after her husband passed away, she was a widow. Oh, this is a very old-timey tombstone. 1889 to 1891. Okay, anyway, so the thing is, I think because she passed away of smallpox, no one wanted to dig anywhere near her grave. People are afraid, probably, who knows, of stirring up that disease and bringing it back. Well, anyway, that was part of what struck me as kind of sad, is that she was buried way back here with only this grave near her. But anyway, I come out here every so often and pray and talk to her. So, Hannah, we've been going through some rough times in the country lately, and there's even people talking about smallpox maybe coming back, like Billy Boy G, but you don't know who that is. Maybe you do up in heaven. But anyway, you're at rest and happy up there, so maybe sometime I'll meet you, and I'm just trying to, as long as I can, I'll take care of your grave, and even if we move, if we move, it's not going to be that far from here, and I'll keep coming here several times, at least some, as much as I have been. Anyway, I'll keep taking care of your grave. I wish I could get a power wash machine. This used to be very legible. I'm not sure what I would need to kill that moss that's growing there. But if I was the caretaker of the cemetery. But anyway, Hannah, God bless you, and we'll see you in heaven. Anyway, back to you guys. If I was the caretaker, anyway, see you soon, Hannah. If I was the caretaker of this cemetery, I would certainly take better care of it. I mean, it's not horribly in disrepair, but I tend to want to do things right. Lots of this hand clasping. I don't know if that's a Masonic thing or what the deal is with it. Yeah, this section in the back is in the very back of the cemetery, where some good friends of mine are buried over down that way. But this is the original founders of the town, pretty much buried here. There's another cemetery over near the mall, and it's older, but it wasn't part of Grotuville. I mean, it is now because Grotuville has expanded, but oh well. It says I've got low battery. I better get back and charge the phone. They used to put little Confederate flags on the Civil War veteran graves out here, but they stopped doing that 2 years ago. I guess not too politically correct anymore. Just put U.S. flags on them. I mean, they're still a veteran. Wow. Oh, look at this. They got something that lights up. There's another ditto grave. I think I showed you that one. 1892. Now, yeah, it's that same moss growing on it. It's like you always joke about these kind of tombs. It's like they really don't want them to come back up. They really want to keep them down. It looks like a bomb shelter. I guess they were in vogue for a while. It's weird to think that the 1920s are 100 years ago. But I guess so. So the 1800s is getting back there. Ooh, I don't like to see American flags on the ground. Let's fix that. Lieutenant, this is a Vietnam veteran. Someone put some flags here. They passed away May of 1965. That's man, that's this person passed away a month after I was born. Randolph C. Holder, Florida. Born 46, passed away 65. And they were 19 years old. Damn, what a shame. War is such a... It's fun to read comic books about war. It's fun in movies, I guess, but it's such a damn shame in real life. I wish war movies were just like science fiction, that it was just impossible to believe that people are forced by their corporate elite leaders into these often manufactured wars that they get rich off of. I am such a damn shame war is. My father would always say that. He was a veteran of 2 wars, Korea and Vietnam. And in fact, he was in Vietnam the same time that young man was. Wonder if my father knew him. Kind of doubtful. Well, so how you guys doing on this, what the hell, it's a Monday morning.
A cold front comes through with lows 25 to 30 overnight. The coolest day of this week is going to be Wednesday with a high of only 45, then we'll be dry and turning warmer Thursday through the weekend. From the KSLF WBAP Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brad Barton. Your next update with Fox News at 10:30. Breaking news.
Let's motivate.
96.3 FM HD2 and KLIF.com. I'm Dave Williams.
KLIF that I'm listening to used to be on 1190 AM. It's now on 570 AM, and it was a very important, historically, it was a very important radio station. It was the radio station that started Top 40 Radio. It was located in Oak Cliff, so that's why it's called KLIF, or the Big Cliff, right? It had all these DJs that played rock and roll, and it was well, what happened is people imitated it. They would make tapes of it, and the tapes would go all over the country, and stations all over the country imitated its format and the sound of its DJs. They even hired the people that sang the jingles for the station, a local company called Pam's, which is still in operation. And so they started doing jingles for radio stations all over the country, and even stations in England and overseas, in the same style. Sometimes you hear those jingles. They still use the old music beds and record the jingles for you that sound like they did in the 60s and 50s. You can get them, Pam, look up on YouTube, type in Pam's, P-A-M-S, jingles. And you've heard them before, like on oldies radio, or maybe when you were younger on actual radio. But KLIF was owned by Gordon McClendon. And Gordon McClendon owned a whole bunch of radio stations and movie theaters. And he owned drive-ins. And he thought, well, I could make a movie as good as these movies that I'm paying for to play in my drive-ins. So he filmed 2 amazing movies, The Giant Gila Monster and The Killer Shrews, and those were filmed here locally in Dallas, and they're Gordon McClendon Productions. And there used to be a Gordon McClendon movie theater not far from here called the what was it called? Oh, the Century Drive-In over in Great Garlou. It's actually called Grand Prairie, but I call it Great Garlou. And when I say Gratouville, that's actually Arlington, Texas. I changed the names because I'm insane. I'm going to show you something cool up here. Uh-oh, a dog's crawling. Oh, come on, little doggy. Shit, it's a tiny little dog. Oh, man. That dog's like not much bigger than a little mouse, and it's crossing the street. Some owner needs to watch out for him. So, alright, so we're on a nice little suburban street with all these 1950s houses, right? Really cool looking places. And, alright, but just wait, you're gonna see something really cool. So don't tune out. I know I'm not showing comic books this morning, just stay with me.
Skip 2 mortgage payments and close in as little as 10 days. Would that help?
Okay. I don't remember where this is, but there's something really cool coming up. My CD player stopped working, so I can't play music. All I can do is play the radio. All right. Look at this house. I got to park so you can see this house. Look at this house, man. Like out of nowhere, in this suburban area, you see this house. And look at that, man. It's like this weird palace. It's also a notary public. I just had to show you this house. Okay, so you get the idea. All right. Okay. Wow. And then you have this house next door. It's almost as jarring as the Munsters house, right in the middle of a suburban street. Anyway, here's to being different and not being like everyone else. Like that Kinks song, I'm Not Like Everybody Else. You know who does a great version of that song? Look this up on YouTube, because everything's on YouTube. It's the Chocolate Watch Band by it's Chocolate Watch Band playing I'm Not Like Everybody Else, the Kinks song. You know, I've got a Spotify channel, and if you go there, it's called Gratu Orloff, right? And I've got a playlist called Music to Read Comic Books By, or Gratu Orloff's Music to Read Comic Books By, something like that. And or it might be Dr. Gratu Orloff's Music to Read Comics By. I think it's something like that. But anyway, make sure you listen to that playlist. Now, I had a couple of songs on there that were offensive, like a couple of like an NWA song, and I had a few G.G. Allin songs on there. But I took those off, and well, I still have a few G.G. Allin songs on there, like I Hate People, and there might be an occasional song that has the F word in it, but basically it goes for, but you got to play it on shuffle. It works better on shuffle. If you go there and turn on that playlist, it will go for over a week without repeating a song. That's how much music I put on there. And but now I'm realizing I got to put some Chocolate Watch Band on there. I wonder. I don't think I did. So anyway, that's something to do. Make sure you do that. Let's see what Glenn Beck's doing.
A profit doing it. There's no profit in historic work. In fact, you usually get sued into oblivion, and most.
Over here is 1950s shopping wonderland, or at least it was wonderful in the late 50s and in the 60s, but by the 70s it had fallen apart somewhat, and now it's kind of nightmarish. There used to be a really nice movie theater over here too, but let's go in here. I got some time to kill. They've, of course, effed it up and put new fronts on the buildings so it doesn't look as amazing. And they got this nice 5G, 6G tower or whatever. Yeah, but this was actually, used to look real 50s, but it's got a human services office, so that's, let's see, orthodontics. Yeah, there's a library, but they tore this movie theater down. In the end, this movie theater, they turned it into like a duo theater. It used to be right over here. Oh, homeless people, nice. And right over here, there was a movie theater. And that's where I saw that terrible 1976 King Kong. They tore it down, and for no reason. There's nothing there now. And then they turned it into like 5 screens. Over here's old Dairy Queen, but now it's what the hell is that? Chicken, pull. I can't fucking